see that Simpsons meme where, I don't remember if it's Bart or Lisa or if they're interchangeable, but they're standing at the chalkboard in front of the class and they're writing down something like, I will not put itchy powder in Principal Skinner's pants. I will not put... Well, you know what? I will not. I'm up at the blackboard right now. I will not talk about this organization's pitching and hitting instruction in this episode. Maybe. Good morning to you. Good Tuesday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports, and this is Daily Shot of Pirates. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or hockey, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Penguins, where you found this. In the interest of fairness, since I mentioned on this program a couple of weeks ago that the Pirates had only 4 players in Baseball America's top 100 list for prospects, it's right to point out that the Pirates had 5 on MLB Pipeline's top 100, which is a really nice number. I mean, it's not 7 or 8 or something that you would get from one of these superstar development type organizations, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Paul Skeens, of course, rates the highest at number 3. Termarr Johnson, who was a number 4 overall pick, comes in at 44. He actually dropped 15 spots, but there's no reason to believe that he dropped on his own merit as opposed to just other superior prospects having entered the pool. And the final 3 are all pitchers. Jared Jones at 62, Anthony Solomito at 82, and Bubba Chandler popping into the list at 93. None of these last 3 selections surprise me. Jones is someone who I feel like the Pirates are really counting on at pretty much the same level that they'd been counting on Mike Burrows before he went down to Tommy John. Burrows was a lot closer to the majors. Burrows probably would have made it. No. He undoubtedly would have made it to the majors at some point in 2023 had he not had the surgery. Jones, Solomito, and Chandler all have a chance this year. And actually, you know who else does? Both Skeens and Johnson have a chance to be in Altoona this summer, just an hour away. 5 of them. Imagine that. That's not common. That's not something that you would see achieved very often, where there'd be at one level a whole bunch of prospects, let alone your top 5. Realistically, putting this in parentheses, you would prefer to have them scattered out a little bit, but this makes it fun. Not just for the fans who can go to Altoona only an hour and a half away across Route 22, but also for the organization, because then they can place, and Ben Cherington's talked about this, he has no issue emphasizing winning in a situation like that. He wants to see, for example, if you have all 4 of these pitchers, and I don't know that you will, but if you have all 4 of these pitchers in the rotation for the curve at any point, he likes the give and take that happens. He loves the competition that happens. That's his real emphasis. And there's also an element of developing an early camaraderie, saying, hey, I came up with that guy, or me and so, we were such and such in Altoona or Indianapolis or going down to Greensboro or Bradenton or whatever. And that it helps them feel more a sense of pride in being part of the Pirates and everything, even by the time they get to Pittsburgh. All sounds great, right? Warm and fuzzy. Still haven't broken my promise, right? All right. Here's what I actually want to say as opposed to what you thought I wanted to say here. This isn't the cavalry. Not for this front office. I don't believe that for the second. Not that they can't all be good. Not that Skeens and Johnson specifically can't be great. Especially Skeens. But they, as some sort of collective, can't be that Altoona wave that we're waiting on. Remember that stuff we were hearing a couple of years ago? Remember that? That was supposed to be the big sign, the flare that shoots up in the night sky that lets us all know, hey, it's okay for the Pirates to take themselves seriously again. They can actually compete now because the Altoona guys are here. You know who out of those Altoona guys made it and who made an impact and who built up this rotation? Because that's who they were waiting for, was pitchers. You know who made it? Nobody. Zero. The number of starting pitchers produced internally who are set in the 2024 rotation is one. Mitch Keller, drafted by the previous administration and taught how to throw 100 miles an hour by an outside, there I go again, I did it. When we come back, J1Q. This portion of Daily Shot of Pirates is brought to you by our friends at North Shore Tavern, that's directly across Federal Street from PNC Park. It's home of Steak on a Stone, an eating experience, underscoring the word experience. The steak is brought to you partially cooked on an 800-degree stone, and you do the rest. It's a ton of fun, it's a great meal, and it's a baseball atmosphere like no other in Pittsburgh. North Shore Tavern, right across Federal Street from PNC Park.
Your front door, your car, your bike, your computer, your gun. Safety is a habit. Every day you lock and secure your home and everything you want to keep safe. Gun safety and responsible storage are no different and the best way to help prevent accidents, misuse, and theft. If you have a firearm, own it, respect it, and secure it. Visit ProjectChildSafe.org. Brought to you by the National Shooting Sports Foundation and the Bureau of Justice Assistance.
Today's J1Q comes from Josh, who says, DK, just sipping my morning coffee and listening to your Monday daily shot of Pirates on Rowanzi Contreras. You know, heading into Pirates Fest this year, I was hoping to hear the brass specifically address what they're going to do to address the drop in velocity across the board from so many pitchers in their system last year, Rowanzi obviously being Exhibit A. Are they planning on insisting that the problem is the players and not their scheme? We all see how that worked out. Do they have any plan at all? Josh, the first thing I want to say is that I was not at Pirates Fest. I was covering the Steelers on the road in Seattle, if memory serves. Might have been Baltimore. I'm not sure which one. I get around a lot. It was one of those two. But I wasn't at Pirates Fest, so I don't know what they addressed or what they didn't. Maybe somebody else who's listening to the show can attest in one direction or the other. I do know that already the things that I have heard from the brass is they're taking close to no responsibility for this. Now, that's not on the record. That's just them saying, hey, listen, Rowanzi, this, that, and whatever. Luis Ortiz, this, that, and whatever. I heard some negative stuff about Ortiz's work ethic and so forth. And maybe it's true. Maybe it's reality. But also, maybe it isn't. And maybe they're just not very good at what they do. And where Quinn Priester is concerned, you know, I've asked, I don't know how many people, why don't you get him to pound the fastball? Why don't you get him to just ramp up the velocity to where it used to be and stop him from throwing so much slow stuff? He's not going to be able to get people out consistently at the big league level with just slow stuff. And the reactions that I get back to any and all such topics are the most condescending smiles looking right over my head as if I'm too puny to possibly understand the genius that's at work here. And that's as far as it goes. I don't have a better answer for you, Josh. I wish I did. I do know that their stance in general, based on these interactions that I've had, is that I just don't get it. And that anybody else saying stuff like that just doesn't get it. So I mean, if a lot of this, when I describe this, sounds a lot like the previous administration, to cite them for a second time in this segment, so be it. A lot of this is just that the names have changed. The practices haven't. The productivity hasn't. And neither has the attitude. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Pirates. We'll do another one of these tomorrow.